You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Zoom the TBT, and we got one of our big teams from last year making a new run this year. We got the Red Rose Thunder, point guard Maurice Watson Jr., GM Lucas Morrison. How you guys doing today?
I'm
Doing
doing
well.
well, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I had to dress appropriately for the show because I have one of these from last year. Some of the teams give us some stuff, and I was
You
always
know
you
the
always like
vibes.
to dress appropriately for the show. So Lucas, real quick, last year you guys was your first team year in TBT. You're a Pennsylvania team based team if I remember correctly, and you made a big run. I mean, you guys were one of the teams that was going to be not picked to go very far, and you made the Cincy final. So what was that like as an inaugural run for TBT, having that deep run?
it was good. Like I said last year during the interview, I felt like we had the best chance to beat Cincy, and then all of a sudden, some flight things happened, and then all of a sudden, Cincinnati's not in the region anymore, and we're at that game, and that game was first off, that game was chaos. We take care of business in our first game, and then I'm like, okay, let's prepare for Cincy, and I hear Cincinnati might only have 7 guys, and then I'm like, okay, this game got interesting. And Team About Billions goes up 20, and then they end up winning that game, and we end up beating Team About Billions by 22. It was a good run. There's a lot of things that we didn't expect and didn't, go through as a first year team. Everything's new, practices in between, but now we got a lot of experience with how everything works, how everything goes, and had a lot more time to prepare for the other things that we didn't have time to prepare for last year because of focusing on getting the funding, getting the players, getting everything for first year team. It's a lot more time to focus on just winning basketball games. Um,
Yeah, it's always interesting when the first year teams are successful because it's such a hard window to get through, really, to be honest with you. It's such a difficult thing. So, and we always say it's tough for the first year teams. And we're always kind of shocked when a first year team shows out like you guys did. But it helps to have experienced veterans on a team like Maurice Watson, because while Maurice Watson played for you guys for the first time last year, it's not your first dance with TBT. You've got experience with Brother Elite. You've won some games, or excuse me, Brotherly Love. You've won some games before. So like how exciting was last year run? You were a multi-win team, a multiple game winner last year. You've won before Team Brotherly Love. How interesting was last year's TBT run?
I would say it was pretty much a smooth transition for me because it wasn't my first time playing with Red Rose. We actually got together at a tough time. About a few years ago, I was just thinking about stopping playing summer basketball. I just wasn't thinking it was getting anything out of it. And then, they came and the message that they have as an organization matched exactly what I want, and it's been the same since day one. So it was really seamlessly comfortable and easy to play. But I will say the difference is that this was a little bit more on my shoulders as opposed to the brotherly love, where they had been in the league for a year or two. Um, they had played together in the ball up, if you remember the ball up challenge, and
Mhm,
they ended up winning, I think, I believe, or second place, one of the two.
mhm.
So I didn't play much. I didn't really have the role at all, and I wasn't going to play TBT anymore until I got with Red Rose. So now, last year the experience was really great, and what it did for me was a little bit bigger than TBT. I didn't really take care of my body last summer, just going through some
Mhm.
stuff with one of my old teams and everything. And we won those 2 games, and I think we would have had a better shot. But I had a knee injury at the time because I hadn't been working out all summer, and I had a physical for my next team in about 2 weeks. I didn't want to risk it. But that final, I only played about 10 minutes, 9, 10 minutes. So um, really feeling like that kind of drove me this summer to be ready this year because I felt like we could have went a little further. So, I mean, the experience was good from an underdog team and just being a part of Lucas and Marlon making history for the TBT. And, it was always a great opportunity, to play basketball, especially to be I was a part of the 2020 COVID TBT year also. Um,
Which team did you play for that year?
I played for Brotherly Love again.
Well, I love. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah,
Brotherly Love
yeah.
again.
That
We were
was
in
that was
Ohio.
wild. What was that? What was that experience like?
Uh,
The
w-
COVID year.
uh, it honestly,
Oh,
being in that
you
bubble,
guys got
we were in a
COVID bounce,
bubble.
right? You guys got COVID
So
bounce,
we were
right?
the first basketball to ever start playing again once COVID happened. COVID happened. There was no, all the leagues got shut down, the NBA, everything. The first basketball back was that TBT year. And to me, I think it was great. I mean, it was better for the teams like, let's take, for example, let's just say Overseas Elite, who may have 5, 6 sponsors. So I remember it was teams in there that had one guy sponsoring all their meals. So everything was door dashed.
Mhm.
You know, we had to eat whatever they brought in if we wanted to pay our own thing. The gyms, the floors were tough because they reserved the first floor for Ohio State. The other floors are slippery and sweaty. So there
Mhm.
was one practice that we didn't even get to practice. We kind of ran on the carpet on the side just to get our
Yeah.
legs moving. But I mean, that right there was a blessing, man. It was very good to be able to test your mental, and you get a little experience of what these NBA guys went through when they were in the bubble.
Yeah.
To be away from your family all the time and things like that. And we had a team forfeit, so we ended up winning.
Everline
And
Drive. You had a bunch
Everline
of teams.
Drive forfeited.
I'm looking at it now because I'd forgotten because that was the first year we did our podcast, and
Yep,
Everline Drive's been on a show every year. And Burley Love, I remember we had them on a few times too. I think
yep.
at one point it seems the Beat had committed, and I guess he didn't end up showing
Yeah,
or
they didn't come
something.
back. Yep. So
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we ended up losing to Marquette in a game that I think
Hmm.
was winnable, and they ended
Hmm.
up winning the championship. So it was
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
maybe we would have won if we did it. So I thought we didn't. A lot of things Lucas talked about, we didn't do that year. We had guys kind of going at it about the little cuts of the money, or who
Yeah.
would make this, who would make that, who wants playing time here and there. Because while somebody like me who may be signed when TBT starts, or I don't need the exposure as much as an up and coming guy or a guy who
Hmm.
had a bad year, they a little down if their exposure to minutes is not high or their role, because they want everyone to see that they can earn money. So the management for the Red Rose is much better than the management was for Brotherly Love, only for the sake that this it's a separate hire. Like, the separation.
Yep. 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 Because you guys, and going back to that, Lucas, you guys are actually a professional team that plays, I believe, in the TBL.
We used to be in the ECBL.
That's right.
This year we were coaching in the TBL. Both my mom and I were coaching. We started with
Hmm.
a team actually in DC, which actually ended up working well, that we ended up being in Virginia because they're about two and a
Hmm.
half hours away, with the Capital Seahawks. And then we actually transitioned to, my mom got a head coaching job with a team closer to us in Reading.
Hmm.
So we ended up, they were 2-13 when we got there.
Hmm.
And we ended up finishing, when we were there, we had 9 games left. We finished above 500 and snuck into the playoffs.
Not
We didn't
bad.
do
That's
well in
that's
the
a
playoffs,
rescue.
but we snuck into the playoffs. And we got some good experience. Mo got 2 games in because he was home, and we're like, hey, you want to play a couple games in TBL for just to get back into playing? He's like, yeah.
Listen, man, basketball is basketball, man. That's something that's actually a little troubling about the TBT. I don't know what guys are doing. I don't know what guys are doing, but you know, I feel like along with the culture, people don't just play basketball to play anymore. If that
Hmm.
makes
It
So
does.
now, if it's like back in the day, if it's like, hey, come to this game that's on ESPN, sponsored by Puma, and or whoever is sponsoring it this year, whatever, with all the bells and whistles that TBT has, you would jump on that opportunity because you realize it's not something that's come around every day. But now, guys are, well, I need payment for my services. I need money for this. There's no guarantee. But like, let's just go hoop. So TBT also gets to you get to distinguish who's a hooper, who's in
Hmm.
it for just money. They don't care if they're losing. They don't care about their play. And then who's in it to really go for their organization on the front of their jersey. So for us, it's just all how can we further Red Rose as an organization, but also the message that they have as family, loyalty, respect, integrity, consideration, sacrifice, wanting for you more than I want for myself. How can we get there? These are a few of just the things that they've done for me.
Hmm.
So to be able to try to get that message out to a world right now that needs that kind of change, I think it's
Hmm.
great to do it through the platform like TBT, which is giving us all a bunch of opportunities. So, I think it actually fits, perfect timing, actually.
You say the world needs this right now. Is something going on? I'm
So
kidding.
like there's
I'm kidding.
so
I'm totally kidding.
no, I'm gonna say, and there have been complaints about, youth basketball not translating,
Hmm.
people only playing
Sure.
for highlight tapes and stuff like that. So, I'm in Europe, like I said, most of the time. So you only see stuff on social media, and then you come home and you experience firsthand. The runs aren't the
Yeah.
same, the workouts aren't the same, the trainers aren't. It's just a little different, and you see the changes. So to get some consistency and some normalcy from an organization like Red Rose, It matters. You know what I mean? Some people may never get to play TBT in their life, and they're going to get an opportunity because do many teams have tryouts?
Some do,
TBT,
some don't, but most don't.
you
Yeah.
know, so most of us we had 2 tryouts, one in one state. And we have another. Do we have the one in
We have
Maryland?
another one next week.
So
We're
we have one
partnering
next
with
week.
the TBL team that we're working with in DC, Capital Seahawks. They're helping us host one at
Hmm.
their gym in DC for free. So shout
Yeah,
out to
That's
so
very
Capital
nice.
Seahawks. I'm gonna give a
Yeah.
shout out to them. And then
now
so
there's random
one
people that
half.
get to help. You know,
Yeah.
this is not we going for the bigger name. We're going to give everyone a chance to come prove themselves, and I think that is very special and unique.
Yeah, I like that. So Maurice has touched on a lot of great points about your organization, Lucas, really giving you some shine. So I won't let you toot your own horn because Maurice just tooted it
You
plenty.
know it.
But talking about how good a player Maurice is, how good this roster is, obviously you got a class guy, Maurice. What do you look for recruiting players? Because obviously you've done a good job. You've won some games. You've got quality guys like Mr. Watson. So what are you looking for when you recruit a team?
So the biggest thing I would say, I would just go last year, starting up, I wanted people who believed in us, believed in my mom, believed in me, believed in new Mo or new
Hmm.
Marcus Kennedy, who's our other captain last year and is going to be back this year. This year the biggest thing was finding more depth. Because last year at the end of the day, the first goal is to win 3 games in 5 days. Wait, one, two, yeah, 5 days. And then after that, you get a little bit break and you got to win 3 more games in 5 days. So we brought 11, one or two get down with an injury, it's tough. So
Yeah.
having depth that's 1 through 12 that we can trust and know 100%, hey, I'm here to do this. I'm here if my team needs me. I'm there. A lot of TBT teams don't have that. If you look at Ohio State, they had that last year. Their 12th man was, I think, Scott Thomas. Wait, no, Kyle Young was their 12th man last year, and he was
Yeah, they had a
injured.
loaded
But
team. Yeah.
he was there. If they needed him, he would play and he would be productive. Um, so the biggest thing we looked for is we always like to, throughout the off season, as we like to call it, you
Hmm.
go to different G League games, go to different things, and get to meet these people, get to see them in person. So that was the biggest thing. One of the players that we actually just announced today, Christian Brown,
Hmm.
we met him because we help out with the Delaware Bluecoats G League team,
Hmm.
their tryouts in Delaware, and he was there trying out, but he ended up getting drafted to the Miami Heat G League team, Seahawks Falls. So we got to see him play throughout the G League season, got to see him play at tryouts, and we talked to him at tryouts like, hey, if we're going to be in TBT this year, would that be something you're interested in? Kept in contact with him, he had a good season, good rookie year,
Hmm.
and we're able to sign him. So players like that are interested. I don't want to, do the like, hey, you please want to play, like please play, and I got to shell out all this guaranteed money. I want people who want to play and are truly driven to play because those are the players that are going to play the best.
Yeah, and I
Especially in a
mean, and you
single game
guys,
elimination.
yeah.
So
Yeah, hunger beats being self-involved every day on a basketball court. So Maurice, you're playing overseas now. Obviously, you played, I think, in Turkey last season. What do people not understand about being a professional basketball player overseas? Like common TBT fan knows that a lot of you guys make pretty good coin in Europe. Everybody thinks like, oh, you're not in the NBA, it means you can't play, which is absurd, obviously, because there's only 450 jobs. Those are crazy to get. So like, obviously, you're a high level professional overseas. What's it like playing overseas?
So first, the first common misconception is that everyone makes a lot of money over there.
Hmm.
It's not. Like, I mean, some people are getting $1,500 a month. Some are getting 3,000 a month. Some are getting 10,000 a month. Some are getting 25, 80 a month. There got guys in your league making 200,000 a month. So it's levels to it. So
Hmm.
the toughest thing about going overseas is like it's not your culture. So
Hmm.
if you have to learn it quick. So if I go to a country like Turkey, they're known for not paying on time. Coming out of high school, that's a tough thing, or college, it's a tough thing to get your first couple of checks and you're not getting them on time. Coming from America, where you expect everything on time.
Yeah.
Um, it's great to give you a house, they give you a car. All your money is net, so it's tax free. They pay
Mhm.
taxes for you. Then they'll give you a tax slip at the end of the year so you can, file your taxes. But the toughest thing is really getting through the locals there. In first division is 7 Americans, 5 or 7. In second division is 2. So that you're the one that's scoring and assisting and playing all the minutes. So some teams have no fans. Some have crazy fans that message you, which is pretty much similar. But trying to find something to do with your time. Okay, wait a second. Trying to find something to do with your time. So like me, I have 5 kids. So Noah is 11. Aaron is no, Noah's 11, Ava is 7, Aaron is 5. The one that just asked for juice is Micah, he's 3. I mean, is Zion, he's 3, and Micah is my newborn, who's going to be 3. He's
Congratulations.
gonna be 3 months. Thank you. He'll be 3
That's
months soon,
awesome.
on the
That's
25th.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
man. So,
awesome.
really, really the big family guy, man. Really wanted a big family. I love my kids. So, for me, I have no time. But when you're over there, you have practice 1 to 2, or practice hour and a half, 12 to 1:30, and then you're free all day. Like you have nothing all day. You can't get extra gym time. You can't get to the gym. It's busy all day. So the only extra work you get in is the 15 minutes before practice and the 15 minutes after.
You're
These
kidding.
these gyms, so you might have the pro team going 9 to 11. Then you'll have the under 14 go 11 to 12:30. Then the under 15.
They're sports clubs. They're not franchises. They're sports clubs, which means you have all the club members need the
So you got
facilities.
12, 14, 16, under 18. Then you got the pro. So then you got girls. Then you have, it's a lot of community out there though, with family and kids, you know what I mean? Things like that. So I would say that the biggest common misconceptions about overseas is that everybody gets a lot of bread, right? Like, which is why I'm nervous about the NIL stuff. These kids are going to make 50,000 a month right now. And then you're going to go overseas and they're going to say, we don't care you went to the G League. We don't care that you led the country in assists. We don't care what you did. You got to do it over here. So you don't get $100,000. You got to come over here for 40,000, 4,000 a
Earn
month,
it.
and you play. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll jump up after that. But if you're a kid making 50,000 a month at Florida or Texas Tech, what happens when you go from 50 to 4, and that 4 is late? Can
Nothing good, I assume.
Yeah, man, nothing good. And then, with some of these teams they're tough with they want you to go to court. Sometimes it says when you're younger, they have 90 days to pay you before you can miss practice. So you can go 3 months with no check. They'll pay you on the 89th day. You know what I mean? As I got more established, it became 10 days, 15 days late, and then, XYZ. So, also realizing you have to tone it down. So as a point guard, if I go to my coach and say, hey, this play is not, this guy has a mismatch. Can we run 1 instead of 3? The next summer, I hear from teams, hey, we don't know if we want to sign him because he's combative to the coach. He always thinks he knows which plays to run. In America, you can be
being
very
combative. Yeah, that's being
yes,
collaborative, not combative.
but even the assistants in Europe, they're not really allowed to really talk. Like the coaches are like, don't tell me when to sub. Don't tell me when. Like it's me. It's on me. It's my ego. It's my shoulder. So I've had coaches tell me we have 1 coach, not 2. Hey, these guys are. You don't have to tell him to back up because he won 4 championships and he's 35. So I can't even as a vocal leader, it's tough for me. If I go to a young guy, it's great because the young guy is listening. He looks up to me. Then I go to an older guy who won a championship and he like, hey, you ain't win no championship. You don't tell me when to cut. You don't tell me to run
Deliver
fast
the ball and stay out of my way.
and be quiet.
Yeah.
So I had that, hey, man, like he talks too much. I'm on defense, just giving communication. Hey, go here, go left. Hey,
Wow. That is a cultural leap.
So I had a couple of practices where I didn't speak. I just didn't speak on defense, didn't clap, didn't, cheer it up. Coach said I had a good day. So now this is just, every situation is different though, but you have to really, my advice would be to really, when you sign somewhere, if you're about to sign, because it's not like college. You don't get a college visit. You don't get anything. You're walking in blind.
You get a phone call and a plane ticket, I assume, basically.
Oh, and the phone calls coming Sunday, you leaving Tuesday. It's not even you get quick and go.
Pack your shit. I'll see you in
come to
Turkey.
Kosovo. And you come to Kosovo for this 6,000 a month, or you can go to Spain for this 2,000, but it's second division. You got to choose money,
Yeah.
opportunity, same,
Oh,
but
and
you
you
don't
got
get
to
a
choose
visit
right now. Yeah.
right now. No visit. The coach, I had a coach last year who didn't speak English. It was the best thing for me. I mean, best thing for me. He would cuss me out. I would have no idea what he was saying. I would just go about my business, and I played well through that, so really trying to find a good agent that is willing to hold these teams accountable. Some agents don't mess up their relationship with the teams, so they'll let them do you dirty so that they can keep
Yeah.
signing their players there. So, I mean, I plan on writing a book about this, doing a little podcast about this stuff too. But all
I
in
mean, the
all,
Paul
bro,
Shirley book sounds like the one
it
you need to write.
but it is a blessing to play. Whatever I just said to you, it is a blessing to be over there. I've been in Belgium, Israel, Poland, Amsterdam, Italy. Like I've taken my family to 8 or 9 countries, and we, what I mean, and I get to live for
That's
free.
awesome.
I get to drive
That's
for free.
awesome.
So, and I get to play basketball, and I'm 32 years old. Any time after my scholarship years is extra to me. You know what I mean? So while you have your complaints, nothing's perfect. You have your complaints at every job, but it is really a blessing to do this for a living. It's not gonna have, be forever. So you got to approach it with being grateful. So when the problems hit, you know how to really, really deal with them. You know what I mean? But it's fun, bro. It's fun to play. It's fun to play still at this age and at this level. And you realize that you're doing a lot of it for other people who wish they could do it, who wish they could do it at your level. So
Yeah.
it's really good, man.
Definitely.
I hope people start to use their friends who are overseas. And if I'm overseas, hey Lucas, when you want, come fly over because I'm in Paris. So hey, look, we can go to Paris. We got a friend over there. He got a nice house. We can stay with him, show us around. Now you get a trip to Paris off of a connection. You know what I mean? So like, man, it's good, bro. It really is good. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't change it.
Lucas, I think Maurice just invited us to Paris, is what I heard.
That's
So
what
how
I
about
heard too.
Zion, come
Okay,
here.
so
Come here.
looking at this real quick, Lucas,
say, come
you
to
got you
Paris.
gotta oh hey, come to Paris?
Say, come to Paris. Oh, he's camera shy.
That's fine. I understand.
Paris.
We're scary. I got it. I got it.
Yeah, we're gonna probably go to Paris.
You got a ride next year, Maurice? You worked out what the team is next year?
No, I haven't.
To
Like I
be
said, my
determined.
agent's working right now. I am really
Good.
just trying to, like I said, this is the first summer that I've been able to work out. So
Yeah.
I've just been worried about being in that gym, making sure I'm
Yeah.
ready, making sure I'm healthy. My next best thing is TBT right now, and like I said, I don't feel like I gave my best showing in any of those games. Now I
And
feel like,
you won 2 of them. And you
and we
won two
won
of
2
them.
of them, so I feel
He
like,
led TBT in assists per game last year, by the way.
and I let
Yeah,
him
I
in
know that.
assists.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
With one leg.
that's like like shouldn't even be explained. That's going to happen regardless.
Fair enough.
I don't think there are
Well, you
many
did,
passers
yeah.
better than me. So I know I'm going to lead in assists again this year, but those need to turn into $1 million.
There we go. There we go. That's the goal. So
Turn
Lucas,
into
look
$1
at
million.
this. Yeah. There we go. Got to turn it into the money. Got to turn it into 2 million. I mean the 1 million. I mean the 1 million, not the 2
I mean, I
million.
missed the 2, but I ain't paying 50 for the 1.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. So Lucas, I'm looking at this region. It's kind of interesting because you guys have a region that people looking at it casually aren't going to think is super heavy. Now, people who know TBT know it's actually pretty loaded because you guys won 2 last year. Happy Valley won 3, I think, last year.
Yep.
2 or 3. Founding Fathers has never won. They've gotten really close. Shell Shock is loaded. They just signed Trimble. It's actually a pretty messy region. So, like, what's it going to take to get out of here, man?
So, first off, before we start, all I'm saying is we have the best winning percentage out of all the teams in the region.
There you go.
Because Penn State went 0-1 their first year, so we had the best winning percentage.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, and 2 teams you didn't mention that are both quality team, Next Era Elite, which used to be Big Five. They
Just interviewed them before this, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. I know they added a couple guys. I'm working on scouting reports already. So, looking at the teams,
they're loaded too. Yeah.
And then Magic Show, not sure if you interviewed them yet. They're going to be good.
I haven't.
They signed Sam Sessoms from Penn State, TBT first team.
Oh, I'm looking at that now. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they took Nigeria Brooks from Cincinnati. They took
Marcus Bell's pretty solid. Yeah, they got some players here. They got some players here. So it's another thing. It's gonna be an interesting region. So, like, first of all, what is it going to take for Red Rose Thunder to get the 3 on the way to the 6? Let's start with the 3.
So my saying and my quote, I would say, coming out of TBT last year was when we come. Well, allowed to curse on this program, right? We're good.
I don't care. Yeah, do it. Say what the fuck you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my thing is when we play Red Rose Center basketball, no team anywhere can fuck with us. No team. And
Okay.
I don't care
Okay.
if it's the Sixers, Celtics, Pacers, Ohio State. I truly believe if we played our brand of basketball, we were going to beat Ohio State the next game in Dayton, or Lexington, wherever it was, Louisville. So we got out of the way we played basketball that third game, and it wasn't the same team at all. And there's things I did. There were things that Mo could have done better. There were things that my mom could have done better. I took a lot of the blame for it myself. But the biggest thing I took, so like the sign that goes on the bracket, at the end, TBT gave us that sign. I hung it on my wall and I said, I'm gonna look at this every single morning. This first thing I see when I wake up, first thing I see when I go to bed, to make sure what happened last year doesn't happen again. So yeah, last year was great, but in my opinion, it was still a failure. We should have won the whole thing, in my opinion. So the biggest thing is sticking to the way we know how to play basketball, not getting out of character, and we'll be good. I don't care who is in front of us.
And you heard it's a failure just now. We've been hearing that for 12 months.
Wow.
Listen,
And you still signed up. Good. Yeah.
when I tell you we are all grown men, right? Fathers, professional players of 10 years. When I tell you we were in this pro-am game up 40, and Lucas and his mom, they will snap on us. I'm telling you. And it holds us accountable. And you thinking like, yeah, I'm a 10-year professional. And it'd be like, yeah, all right, when Red Rose, this is what we do. So the passion you hear from Lucas, we listen, we get it. Like we hear it. And it drives why we play hard, for them is that way too. Um, for me, I think it's pretty much the same thing he said. I mean, we really got out of it. Like I said, I was injured. I think we did I think we did some stuff off the court that took our mind off of on the court.
Yeah.
Staying up a little late, hanging out a little too late. You just make it a trip with the boys and you forget that it's business. So I think there were a lot of undisciplined things that we did last year. So I think this year we get, I remember last year things were falling apart. We were supposed to have a scrimmage before it canceled. The gyms were canceling. So, we get to have a solid camp this year, a solid mini camp. In this pro-am league, last year we had to play 2 games in there before we came. So our chemistry was good because we had just played a game together and then went right on the road. So, been able to do that again and, pretty much go through a little mini preseason before we go. And then we sit and talk about the things we didn't do last year, things we did this year, you know, what you do when someone's putting this money out for you and they're giving you an opportunity, how you repay them by is showing up and showing your ass up. You know what I mean? And really respecting what we got going on. So, we ain't giving up no game. We ain't giving up no game here. We ain't giving up no game. But we just say we're gonna be more disciplined and teams should be scared. Don't let the roster fool you if you don't know us. You know what I mean? I think you can't look at this roster and really think it's sweet. And we also felt disrespect because we felt like last year they put us in the weakest region. We
That
thought.
was the consideration. A lot of people said, this show included, that Cincy was the weakest region. We said
So I
that.
feel some kind of way about that. We should have been able to, with all the big dogs. So now we like, they don't think we big dogs. Let's go be big dogs. So, you put self pressure on yourself, and then it don't matter. So it should be fun for us, man. It should be fun.
What I love about this interview, and this has actually been, and I've loved the content we've gotten this year so far because I've been really happy with how the teams have responded to our coverage, but also just this tournament in general. Hearing a team that got the scalps you guys got last year, got the wins got last year, describing it as a failure is refreshing and vaguely insane. Like, you guys did have a successful year. I mean, I understand you don't want the money, but like, that was one of the better first runs I've seen, especially for a non-alumni team. So let's leave it at this, because you guys got to get the NBA Finals. We're taping this right before the Pacers fight for their lives. We'll see what happens. But I'll leave it at this, and either one of you can answer this. You guys earned a lot of respect from TBT fans last year, making a big run, winning some games, really putting yourselves in the map. Having said that, obviously, you guys are a non-alumni team, which means your fan base is naturally a little more capped. What is the story you can tell me? What's the thing you can tell me that gets the neutrals behind you? Because we want to make sure you guys get the love you deserve for your style of play. why should a TBT fan
Go ahead,
be
Lucas.
a Red Rose Thunder fan? Go ahead.
So real quick, I'll start with this, and this is something that I had. I remember last year watching your conclusion of the TBT interview. At the end, you said you talked to, I think, one of the Ohio State players, and you asked them like, "What's next after they won the championship?" So after we win the championship this year, I want you to ask me that same question, and I'm gonna tell you we're
Okay.
gonna do it again. Okay. The expectation is to win it this year. The goal is to three-peat. So this team is being built to three-peat. This team is built to do what Overseas Elite did. Last year at this interview, I said we're going to do something Overseas Elite did and win a region as a first-year non-alumni team. That hadn't been done since
Got
Overseas
close.
10 years.
Got
We were so
close.
So
Got
now
really
I'm going to tell
close
you
there.
we're going to do something overseas that no team since Overseas Elite has done and win it 3 years in a row. That's the goal. The expectations win it this year. Goals win it 3. So like we are here to stay. And this is an expectation. It's not a goal. I said 63 teams have a goal to win it this year. We have an expectation. So
Yeah, man. It's
TBT
honest about
fans,
it.
all the non-people that are committed to a team, look, my mom's the winningest female coach in TBT history. I'm the youngest general manager in TBT history. And we're not just coming here to say that. We're coming here to say we're the only female coach to win TBT, and we're the youngest general manager in TBT history to win TBT.
Yeah, I mean these games aren't, and I think fans can see that from us. We play basketball the right way, man. I think that's why casuals can really get with us. You can watch these star-studded teams and it'd be a bunch of one-on-one, or I can come see some bad cuts, some real tough-nosed defense, some box out, some bench support.
Some real shit.
Some real basketball. So we pride ourselves on being real basketball. I pride myself on being that pure point guard that might take 6 shots but get other guys 10 shots each. So, when you have 9 or 10 guys that know that the point guard want to pass the whole time anyway, they run harder, they play defense harder, they listen more, just because they know, okay, if I get this stop and get him an outlet and I run, he got me. If I trail, he got me. And just those things. Is something that I think casuals will really enjoy when they watch us play. Our little side conversations, how much we shake hands, how much we help everybody up. This is our identity, and I think that it's refreshing, like you said, for others to see. Let me keep this game on, because let me just see. I don't know none of these people, but it's just good basketball. Let's watch good basketball.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
hold on. That's not saying that we might not have another a name or two.
No, yes, no, we
you
ain't
might want
telling.
to keep out for that. I'm not gonna.
I
I'm
said
not
we
gonna
ain't giving
say
them no
anything.
game. We ain't giving them no game.
But all I'm saying is watch out. That's all I am saying.
We came on here to talk smack. That's what we came on here to do. Okay, we came on here to make it
I
interesting.
love this.
Yeah, we came on
I
here to make
love
it
this.
interesting. So they got to
I
bring.
love this.
They got to bring them spicy chili peppers out when they come to this Virginia region, bro. We liven it up right now to bring all the attention there. Oh, they trash talking. Let's go there. Yeah, okay,
Well,
yep.
but
Come
you
right here and
earned
watch
it.
us.
But you earned the right. You
Yeah.
won 2 games. You didn't show up and get punked. You won 2
Yep.
games, and you had another team on the ropes. You deserve the right to say whatever the fuck you want at this
Yeah,
point.
but it's hard when you got your GM saying it ain't shit unless we win 3 in a row. So these 2 games in a row, he talking about, man, y'all supposed to enjoy it, but y'all ain't did nothing. Like, so we got the high expectation of that based off our leadership.
Well, on that note, we're gonna leave it there. So I want to leave on that high note.
Yeah.
Maurice Watson Jr., Lucas Morrison, Red Rose Thunder. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. This was
Hey,
a
man,
lot of
thank
fun.
you for having us, bro. Thank you for having
Okay,
us.
it's been
And
Zoom the
we'll see you in a couple
TBT.
weeks.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. Thank you,
See you
guys.
soon.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hainer. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.